Blitz will bring to you the best look of the city view. It's Maddy Skyeline, yeah, it's time for Maddy Skyeline.
It is time for Maddy Skyeline here on the Blitz, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minnix. She is Maddy Skye from the San Antonio Express News, the food and culture editor of the San Antonio Express News.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? Well, I was going to say there's a lot going on in our city today with an announcement from Judge Wolf. We generally don't get political here, but that's pretty big news. For the first time in 1,000 years, he's not running for something.
In 1,000 years.
It feels that way.
Happened during my lunch break. So I saw the alert come through, and we have Delilah here. Judge Wolf, this will be Judge Wolf's last term. He's going to be around for, I guess, for another year in the political sense.
Yes.
And it's just really interesting because I feel like the past, 18, 19 months, almost 2 years, this is the most that we've heard from Wolf in public facing because of COVID. Seeing him, I know in the first couple of months, seeing him in our living rooms and during the COVID briefings, those were so important, and they still do those every so often. But I remember those first couple of months, it's like I've never seen Wolf so much at that 27 years in San Antonio. I think actually one of his members of his family taught my computer science class when I was in high school, which is just a cool factoid. She was awesome. It was called BCIS. I don't know what that stood for. I'm bad at computers, but the class was awesome. She was one of my favorite teachers, but she was somehow part of the Wolf family.
Well, that's interesting, and again, that is major news because, it's funny because it ties into, I moved to San Antonio in 1993 after I got out of the Navy. One of the reasons, or really the main reason I moved here, when I was getting out of the Navy, looking for, the community college route that I was going to have to go because I was paying for it myself and what the GI Bill was going to do and having to work. The community college there in Miami-Dade and San Antonio College had the two best community college journalism programs in the country. And Mr. Dowdery and Mr. Hunt, Miss Odom, worked with me. I got a job they helped me get a job at the Express News, got some scholarships, and I moved to San Antonio to go work at the Ranger. And the news yesterday about the Ranger closing after 95 years, that hit me like a ton of bricks. I honestly, and I don't think about the Ranger on a regular, except for when I see stuff on social media. But what that college journalism program taught, and wherever you're going to journalism school, whether at UT or whatever the school is, I know at Arizona State, the Walter Cronkite School, or Columbia, Missouri, I mean, you learn so much in those environments. And all the journalists I know that went through that SAC program credit what they learned at the Rangers the beginning of their career because it was real. They treated you in that newsroom as if it were the Express News newsroom. And sometimes, because I was working at the Express News at the time doing agate in the sports department, which sucks. But again, you look at it, it might have been harder at the college newspaper than it was at the Express News back then.
Right. Yeah, that was some shocking news that came out yesterday. And two things I just learned: that you were an alumni. A lot of my coworkers at the Express News are alumni of the Ranger. Did not know that about you too. And I also didn't realize how long the Ranger had been running. 95 years, almost 100 years. That was completely shocking as I wrote that. And I think also was an interesting tidbit in there is that the Ranger just got this national accolade for being one of the top college papers in August. So you can, even if you are new to San Antonio, if you're not familiar with how great the program is, like just knowing that alone, it's such a huge loss. And one of my coworkers brought up too, what is that going to do for the minority pipeline of reporters that are coming through San Antonio that have these big aspirations of being journalists and being in media and always count on SAC being there for that program? And there was some gray area about the future. I think the program is still going to exist, but the faculty is retiring, or that's why there's all these calls on SAC to kind of boost it and get, the proper faculty and staffing in there, because I think that there is still going to be a course, but there's not going to be a newspaper. It's going to cease to exist for the meantime. But I don't think there's all hope is lost on it ever coming back in the future. But right now, there's just not enough engagement and funding too, I think. So.
Well, funding is a big part of it, and a good faculty, obviously, I think is in play. I just hope they offer more than just a mass comm. I think about my time at SAC when I got to SAC in 1993. Johnny Ludden had just left, and if you're a longtime Spurs fan, he goes on and was at the Daily Texan, which is the UT paper, covered the Spurs forever, then was covering the NBA nationally for Yahoo, and now he's a big management type there, with Yahoo. But some of the current Express News reporters were there when I was there. Photographers like Ed Ornalis were there when I was there, and the foundation that they taught. And I look at those that left San Antonio, and at major news outlets across the country, and let's not forget what they offer at KSYM, which is a fantastic program and a great college radio station. I just, in this time, with everything that we're seeing, the idea that we need more good journalism programs, not less.
Definitely. We can never have too many. Sorry about that. Delilah is acting crazy as usual. I don't know if you can hear her. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate, and just judging by the outpouring of support that it got yesterday and continues to today. One of my favorite things too about the SAC program was they really pushed for their students to find current reporters to talk to, and every semester emails come through, and I try to help as many students as I could, but those students were always so willing to learn and so willing to listen. That was also awesome, and I'm going to miss that.
Well, that's it. Like you get the emails, you do, the sit downs, go back into the classroom and talk to them, and you hear some of the same stories that Miss Odom was still telling, or the idea of the way it's behind and the real world questions that they had to do things. It is just sad to see that's coming to an end after 95 years. What else is going on in our great city of San Antonio besides that? Let's have some good news.
Yeah, so we have a new bar opening, 3-star bar. Jared Pena, you might know him from Brooklyn Night or Hello Paradise. He's a great mixologist. He's an authority here. He is partnering with some of his friends. They're opening 3-star bar, what he calls East Gray, which is right off the Broadway corridor. And it's really funny because the way he describes it is as a dad bar. So it has intentional dad vibes, some wood paneling. I was like, hey, we could have given you some of the wood paneling from my mom's renovation of her house. We had go in and get them from a mobile home outfitter out in the hill country. And he also was like, you know what, the best way to describe it is the Gremlin scene, the Gremlin scene where they're all at the bar. And so it's you can party like a dad, you can party like Gremlin, just don't give them water, I guess. So they're gonna have, what I thought was really neat is they're gonna have an in-house seltzer. So a 3-star, yeah, it's gonna be a lemony mint taste, he told me. So they have their soft opening tonight, Delilah. They have their soft opening tonight, and then she doesn't know showbiz, and then hopefully this weekend they'll be all up and ready to go. So you get your some blue ribbon, some Shiner Bock, just laid back at.
So it's called 3-star bar. Where is it at?
East Grayson. So it's where Gray's used to be, kind of by Hello Paradise. I think just a hop, skip, and a jump from there, right by the Pearl. So there's the nice fancy Pearl offerings, and then just a place where you can roll up your sleeves and get a good beer. He says it's going to be a lot like Stay Golden, which remember it was Stay Golden, and then they shut down that location to open Still Golden because there was a lot of development going on. Still Golden is eventually going to reopen once the headquarters at the office development is done. So he'll have Still Golden, Hello Paradise, and 3-star bar all within walking distance. So you never know, maybe that becomes San Antonio's new entertainment bar district.
Dad vibes, huh? They need an 11 by 17 at Urban Meyer when you walk in.
I don't know what that is. Do we have to be a dad?
Yeah, just Google Urban Meyer from the weekend at a bar in Ohio, and you'll totally get what I mean.
Okay.
All the other listeners, they understand. Pledge gets it. He's trying not to laugh right now because that was just bad. But when you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Urban Meyer, by the way, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yes, I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, of all the things that have been on social media, I know you had to see that. You just needed to know how it related there.
I did. It's like the Urban Cowboy theme, correct? Right?
No. Pledge. Send her some links. Let's move on so you don't embarrass yourself, Maddy.
So on the flip side, on the very, very flip side, this week is Texas Fashion Week, and it's all based in San Antonio. So tomorrow is the headline Texas Fashion Awards. Yours truly is presenting an award, so I'm very excited about that.
I did not get nominated. I haven't received an invitation that I've been nominated for any fashion awards. This is a crime.
Bad vibe category. Maybe next year. Maybe they'll include that in there. Think about that.
I'm not David Hinojosa and George Nation, but you know, I can rock a blue polo pretty easily, like 6 days a week.
We always talk about your blue. You should start your own t-shirt line. I think that's what you're trying to plug here.
Maybe. I mean, I might eventually. You know, when I get the influencer status, I might be able to do that.
Some Jason Minnix threads.
Exactly. Dad vibes only.
Yeah. So that's happening tomorrow at Tobin Center. You probably cannot wear a blue polo. I wouldn't recommend it. Maybe a Guayabera, that might be more fashionable.
Wow.
That's my quinceañera, so I think it's okay.
Oh, okay.
We could get him in a Guayabera.
Maybe. What award are you presenting? Do you know?
Magazine of the Year.
Okay. What? So you don't have any other. So if you're presenting, I forget the individual. You're presenting, so you've got to go all out if it's a fashion show, right? You can't just show up in anything, right?
Right. I had to. So I'm trying to be a lot more conscientious of how much I spend, because I'm a bit of a shopaholic. I'll buy a gown and it just gets stuck in my closet for God knows when, because pictures have been taken and posted. So this time I actually used Rent the Runway. So, but it's a pretty dress. It's not going in like a potato sack. It's nice.
So wait. So they invite you to present an award, but you have to go buy your own dress and do your own hair and makeup. And this is going to be one of those like a wedding day. Hair, makeup, nails, all of it is going to get done. And that's on your dime? That doesn't seem right.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody wants to come in last minute and do my hair and makeup, I'm for it. I'm going to go get my nails done afterwards. I'm so sorry. Delilah is acting like a gremlin herself. I don't know if you can.
James Pledger is perfect. He volunteers. He'll do your makeup.
Okay. No, but I mean, I'll do my own makeup. I don't want to risk it.
No, I mean, James at Halloween, I mean, you'll look like a Marvel character, but I mean, he can do your makeup.
I hope a Superwoman. A Superwoman would be nice.
See, there you go. Although if you need good fashion stuff, you need to hook up with Rudy J's wife, Rudy J from R&R in the Morning here on San Antonio Sports Star. She's got an incredible boutique that's mobile. So, you know, maybe you two need to connect so you can talk fashion, because I can't.
Yeah, see, I don't know what I'm going to do with my hair. I'm very stressed about that. As you can see, I'm not good at hair. Makeup, I can wing it, but hair, don't know.
It looks fine.
Very nervous about that. I'm going to try not to.
It looks fine. It looks fantastic. I'd do it just like that. Or go with the ponytail. I don't know. Have fun with that. I won't be there.
I'll be thinking of you. We'll send you pictures.
Just anybody in a blue polo. Just tag me.
Okay.
See if there's one. I mean, because literally my idea of dressing up is what I would normally have on: jeans, a polo, tennis shoes. And if I've got to dress up, add a sport coat. That's it.
That's all you. Your black tie.
There's no black tie. I don't. I don't have one. Maddy, always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Maddy Skye from the San Antonio Express News, the food and culture editor at the San Antonio Express News. Fashion.